It has been said that the best stories ever told are the way they are because of the beginning. It's supposed to grab your attention and not let go. It's supposed to have something that grips the heart or causes the audience to question a mystery, or even more so to establish a connection between the reader and the main characters. The thing about beginnings that the author doesn't always tell is that to the characters in the story, the beginning is not the beginning. It's the latest in a long line of stories that have made them who they are, and the story about to be told begins in the middle of theirs. As far as this story goes, this feels like the best beginning that we can give you. Today is the day that we have planned for over the course of 4 years, and it doesn't feel real. We drove down to Tampa, Florida with everything we own in our suitcases and our passports in hand. Even having done it twice before, staring down the barrel of 36 hours of travel with nothing but a clean slate upon arrival is enough to put a rock on your chest and butterflies in your stomach. But I think going into this without being nervous would be of much more concern. We drove down to the airport quite a bit early to have plenty of time to check in our bags and to have lunch with those of our family who could make it to see us off. After enjoying a late lunch and talking a bit with our send-off crew, we said see you soon to our parents and began our journey through security. Of course, there are no direct flights from Florida to New Zealand, so our travel is broken into 3 separate flights and 2 layovers. The first flight is nothing more than a warm-up from Tampa to Houston, Texas. The next flight, however, is quite a bit more intense. The flight will span 7,404 miles, or 11,915 kilometers to the rest of the world. From wheels up to touchdown is 15 hours. There's no great way to put this into perspective, but I guess it's easier than it would have been 200 years ago. Imagine leaving your home back then. New Zealand might as well have been Pluto. In the scope of things, we are extremely blessed to live in a day and age that we do. Things like FaceTime make it so that even from across the world we can be connected with our friends and family. Endurance is the name of the game in flights like these, and sleep is an invaluable way to pass the time. Having done this before works in our advantage, and we've learned some tricks for this time around. The first step is in buying the tickets. Buy the most desirable tickets. Keep in mind these may not be the cheapest. If we decided to save $300, our total travel time might have been close to 56 hours. Next, call your airline and request an aisle seat. This gives best access to bathrooms. Wake up early on your travel day to assure maximum sleepiness. Sleep is important on a flight like this. After all of that, we finally made it through the long haul. We step off the plane, go through customs, take a great big whiff of that New Zealand air, and then we prepare for the final leg of our journey. The flight from Auckland to Christchurch is not really that big a deal when tackling travel on this scale. Finally, the wheels touch down in Christchurch. This is still about 2 hours north of where we will live, but there's some business to attend to here first. We take a day to buy a car and to get our cell phones figured out, and then we begin the journey down to Timaru. Of course, we decide to take the scenic route to our new home. We didn't rush on our way down, but instead took a small detour that led us to some of our first experiences as people living in New Zealand. We'll show you Timaru soon, and I can assure you that it is absolutely fantastic. But that'll have to wait for a bit, at least until the next chapter.